Hey, Shalom Markings, Rakam Akapash from Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem V'chak when I give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful that's pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. I'm just going to start with this, Proverbs 29, verse 2, right? And it says here, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? In this world right now, under the wicked, under these Edomites, under the so-called white man, okay, the world has been brought into ruin, all right, and the people are mourning, right? So I've got a few articles here, just here from the UK mostly, right, of the turmoil this place is in and how the people are feeling, right? Everyone's getting hit by high inflation, high interest rates, low wages, you know, food scarcity. People find it more difficult to, get what they want or to afford what they want. Energy prices, you know, uh, unrighteous laws and decrees, right? It's just, the people being battered right now by Esau and these policies, how he's running the earth right now. Okay, so you got discontent from the people, okay, which is all part of the prophecies. Okay, the people are going to become have discontent, right? People are going to start acting, a bit wild, okay, in the near future, right? But right now they're showing their displeasure with the system, man, and the current situations that they find themselves in. All right, so people out here protesting, people out here striking, you know, in unprecedented manners, man. All right, so here's one of them, right? Nurses, right, here in the UK, across UK, vote to strike in first ever national action, right? Before, the nurses and that, because they have a duty of care, they don't strike, right? But because of this, they're taken advantage of. Same with the police force. Okay, the police force wish they could strike, but they're not allowed to. Okay, it's illegal for them to actually strike, so they get taken advantage of, man. And this is why the NHS, our healthcare system is getting run down into the ground. That's why the waiting lists are super mega long. People on the waiting list for years, years and years. People that need operations and surgeries and whatever. Yeah, they get forgotten, man. There's not enough staff. They're overworked, underpaid, right? And they're fed up. People are not really getting the care that they're supposed to be. A lot of negligence is going on. Man are tired, and some people just don't give a shit anymore. All right, it's just a job, but it's just keep the roof over their heads. They can't do nothing else. But in the meantime, they go home and they struggle to feed their family and pay rent and shit. So people are fed up, man. And so for the first time as a national action, they come out, striking, right? So the biggest nurses strike in NHS history is set to take place before Christmas after union officials said that large swaths of the country had voted for industrial action. And this is becoming a more common thing now. More and more people are going out there striking, the unions and that, they're getting together and they're saying, no, we're not gonna stand for this. Okay, it's already hard enough. It was already hard enough, and now all this is happening and making things, 10 times harder, And we need better pay, better working conditions, right? Better funding, This is patients who are already facing record waiting lists are now likely to see operations and appointments delayed or cancelled. This is set to be the first national strike in the history of the Royal College of Nursing. Let's see what else is here. The prospect of nurses across the NHS taking strike action over pay would be a huge challenge to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, who are confronted with a fiscal hole in the nation's finances of up to 50 billion. All right, so these guys, man, they're looking to make further cuts into things, right? Who knows what, but they need to they want to make up this 50 billion, right? So they're gonna have to take cuts and tax rises and all this type of shit, to try and plug that hole. So the people are gonna suffer. Right? These people are gonna suffer even more. Their wages are gonna get diminished even more in some way or form. It says that it will also be a big test of the government's resolve over pay constraints as it deals with strike threats across the public sector in the face of the highest inflation since the 1980s. So the union officials say that since the Conservatives took power in 2010, the pay of some experienced nurses has fallen by 20% in real terms because of the inflation, right? They had called for a pay award of 5% plus inflation, a total of 15%. The government said the basic annual pay for nurses would increase from 35,600 to around 37,000 from March 2022, a rise of just 4%. So all they offered them was 4%. Okay, an increase of what's that, £1,400. Okay, which ain't stretching very far these days, man. You know, so the NG prices are kicking people's asses right now. You know, train fares, petrol prices. All of that is eating away at everything, man. And this is what we speak about inflation, man. It's just eating at your money, man. Your money's being devalued, right? So everything is more expensive. That's why when you go shopping, you don't bring back so much these days for the same amount of money. Just eating away. And these men are not really doing nothing to help you. Offering 4% ain't making up for all the percentages that you're getting cut. Because they've lost 20%, they're giving them 4%. You're not you're making a very small difference. Okay, you're still worse off. All right. So NHS bosses will be concerned that a national nurses strike will compound the crisis in the country's hospitals because there's already a problem. There's already a massive problem. They can't. Like I said, they haven't got the staff, right. They can't attract people in because it's the conditions are not good enough. The conditions not good enough, man. They're getting overworked like crazy. Nothing but overtime all the time. They might as well just call it a regular week. But they can't bring the people in, man. Same with the police force. Like they're struggling. They're struggling to bring people in. If there is a recruitment drive, it's not as appealing as it maybe was, many years ago. All right. So under the RCM protocols for strikes, any life-preserving care is maintained. Life-preserving services include emergency interventions, maintenance of therapeutic services, and urgent diagnostic procedures. It would mean nurses in critical care units and A&E departments will be exempt from taking part. Okay, so there's still a portion of them that can't go out to strike. They got to maintain that service. Says RCM says ministers have failed to address a workforce crisis and that the exploitation, right? These people are feeling exploited. That's why they're pissed, right? Exploitation of nursing staff cannot be tolerated any longer. These people are fed up, man. You know, can you say that this man is ruling his kingdom correctly? you know, when the wicked are in rule, the people will mourn it, man. They're mourning. They're fed up, right? They're struggling. Says that by analysis by the Nuffield Trust published earlier this year, found that 40,365 nurses quit the NHS in the year to June 2022, equivalent to 1 in 9. People are just leaving, for one reason or another, man. They're just fed up. So NHS England has launched an effort to recruit tens of thousands of nurses to help fill a record number of vacancies. There are more than 46,800 nursing, midwifery, and health visitor vacancies in the NHS in England alone. Just in England, not even in the UK, just in England, right? But guess what? They ain't bringing them in. This is Pat Cullen, RCN General Secretary and Chief Executive, said patients are at great risk when there aren't enough nurses. Huge numbers of staff, both experienced and new recruits, are deciding they cannot see a future in a nursing profession that is not valued or treated fairly. That's it. They're fed up. So yeah, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, they're all balloting as well. 350,000 NHS staff. Yeah, man. So like I said, the people are fed up, man. And it's a common thing you're seeing, not just here in the UK, but around the world. People are fed up. All right. So that's the nurses. Now, got the teachers. Okay, they're fed up because again, same sort of condition, same sort of problem. Overworked, underpaid. Can't attract the staff in. All right, so these men are striking too, right? So university staff to strike across UK in pay and conditions dispute. 70,000 lecturers and other staff expected to join action, University and College Union says. So they're striking multiple times, right? So the union said about 2.5 million students will be affected, but that disruption can be avoided if employers act fast and make improved offers. And that's what these men have got to do. They got all this money for bullshit, war, space shuttles, whatever, weapons, whatever they feel like it at the time, Ukraine, but when it comes to actually dealing proper with the people, they never got no money. They never got no money to give nobody. And at the same time, they want to, raise taxes and shit, national insurances and whatever, when they feel like it. I know they lowered the national insurance or whatever a little bit or whatever, but it's like they ain't doing shit. It ain't making an impact on what these people need, man. And the government, they don't give a shit about the people. All right. So all they have to do is make a better offer, and then all this can be resolved. But they don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about the 2.5 million students. They don't want to do the right thing. you know. So disruption can be avoided if employers act fast and make improved offers. If they don't, strike action will escalate in the new year alongside a marking and assessment boycott. So when pays will get graded, man, they have to sit back, repeat the year. Okay, so striking lecturers, librarians, and researchers are likely to be joined by the Royal College of Nursing, which we just read about, and the PCS Public Sector Union, where results of their strike ballots are revealed this week. The teachers and school staff are expected to follow with strikes in the new year. Strikes by Royal Mail workers are continuing this month. The mail workers are pissed. Everybody seems to be pissed. Everyone just seems to be pissed, man. And I bet everyone feels like that. Everybody in their job feels like that, man. They're getting overworked, underpaid, man, and they're getting fucked right now, and they're fed up. All the and I say everybody, all the common people, the laborers. All right, fuck these elite. The rich don't give a shit, obviously, but yeah, people are fed up. Okay, this is not, a joyous time, man. All right. This is strikes by Royal Mail workers are continuing this month, while the R&T Rail Union is reballoting its members over a further round of industrial action, despite calling off strikes scheduled this week. University strikes are said to be the largest ever, again unprecedented, right, in the higher education sector, after UCU members backed a national ballot in favour of industrial action, continuing a series of strikes that have been confined to smaller groups of universities. Says campuses across the UK are about to experience strike action on a scale never seen before. 70,000 staff will walk out and make clear they refuse to accept falling pay, cuts to pensions, and insecure employment. This is the time we're living in, man. Okay, this kingdom is coming to its end, inevitable end, man. It's being put on its knees right now. Okay, the end is in sight for this place. Everything's falling apart, right? Which is good news for us. Good news for us, man. Okay, we're happy all this is happening. We're glad shit just ain't working. You know, because that means we're near. Okay, we're near to the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai and His kingdom. Okay, a righteous kingdom. Okay, where we're doing for righteousness, right? But it says here, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. We want to rejoice. Why we want to be in that world of righteousness where things work properly and righteously, you know? Because what's going on earth right now is not righteous, right? So we know we're all waiting for that, right? It says this is not a dispute about affordability; it is about choices. Vice chancellors are choosing to pay themselves hundreds of thousands of pounds whilst forcing our members on to low pay and insecure contracts. So some men are taking all the money, you know? The distribution of money, of wealth, is not fair. It's not balanced, right? And you see that in general, you know, the pay gap between the wealthiest and the poorest, man, that gap gets bigger and bigger every year, no matter what these governments say they're doing to help poor people. It's only the rich that seem to get richer in this world, man. The poor don't get, you know, uh, you might say they increased, you know, their earnings. Yeah, you could say that their earnings get increased, but the effect of those increases is really only negative. You know, it has negative impact because everything around them goes up so much more. So yeah, you could say, oh yeah, on average, people's wages have gone up £100 a year or some shit. You know what I mean? But if everything, you know, all the prices and stuff get overweigh that £100 don't mean shit. You're still losing money all the time, right? But you know, the elites they're earning mega bucks, you know, so they never have an issue. But anyway, this is says vice chancellors are choosing to pay themselves hundreds of thousands of pounds whilst forcing our members onto lower paid and insecure contracts that leaves some using food banks. Food banks is up on the rise and food banks are struggling to keep up. That's how bad it is. Food banks are struggling to keep up with the higher demand because people are using them more because people can't afford to go shopping. You know, they choose to hold billions in surpluses while slashing staff pensions. And it's the same with all these companies, right? That's what they're doing. They're looking after their own interests, which, you know, I guess you could say that's what a company's supposed to do, but a company's also meant to look after its employees. Okay, when you've got excessive money or you got shareholders or whatever that are already fucking rich, right? And all they care about is their profits for next year or being paid more than last year or whatever, right? But your employees are struggling at the bottom. They ain't fucking right, you know? If it ain't going into maintaining the business, you know, word being maintained, you know, rather than having excess profits just for you know the top 1% in the company, you know, it needs to be shared out, you know, better. This is it's a threats. If university vice chancellors don't get serious, our message is simple: this bout of strike action will be just the beginning. Yeah, threats. And this is the thing, like it's like we say, things are only going to get worse. Things are going to become violent eventually. You know, pursuing to all the scriptures, man. We're going to get them. We're going to get the scriptures in a minute. You know, you know, things are going to get worse. Okay. So UCU demands include a pay rise in recognition of cost of living crisis, right? After this year's 3% increase. Okay, that 3% wasn't shit. And then an end to insecure contracts. On pensions, UCU wants employers to reverse the cuts imposed this year, which it claims will see the average member lose about 35% from future retirement income. Now, retirement is a big fucking issue in the UK, you know, because everybody that ends up being retired don't have much money to live off, and supposedly people are living longer, right? So that money doesn't go very far. So people that are living in poor conditions, hey, well, hell, you got this winter coming up, man. There's always people, elderly dying in winter because they can't afford the heating, and that's the sort of have that that sort of crisis is has already been there. So they basically what they're saying is that fuck your pension, we're gonna cut your pension and we're gonna have you struggle, uh, you know, later on in life. Even though we know we got a problem with the elderly, mental health and medication, whatever the case may be, we're just gonna cut your shit and fuck your life. you know, that's what they're doing. So these men worked hard to build up their pensions or whatever, so they could have a better retirement, a better life. They don't have to worry about the fucking heating, But the government's like, no, fuck your pension. You can die poor. you know, it ain't fucking right. Anyway, so, what else is in here? So they make the counter arguments by doing all these strike actions. Nothing, you're gonna make things worse. Yeah, they're gonna say that, innit? They gotta dissuade you somehow. All right, so yeah, the fucking teachers and them, they're pissed, man. All right, they're pissed as well. Mm, okay, we all know London Underground, man. They're always striking, right? And they mentioned in the last article as well. So I ain't gonna bother read that, but the same thing. They're trying to cut pensions. Trying to cut man down 30% of their pensions and stuff like that, and you know, make redundant. Well, hypothetical redundancies. They're just not going to re-employ, so they're going to be short of staff, which obviously increases the risk and shit, right? So they got that problem going on there. So tubes will be down tomorrow, even, right? That's going to happen because they can't come to no deal. So the underground people are pissed, the station staff and that. I don't know if I covered this article in another lesson, but just quick, I'll mention this one quickly. So almost 28,000 Britons enter insolvency as cost of living hits finances. People are fucking struggling, man, and none of these companies really want to pay them, to help them survive. You know. This is Ecclesiastes of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Does this seem like a well ordered government? Boy, people are resigning. We got William Garrison, he's resigned today after just having Rishi Sunak instated as prime minister. After we just had fucking Liz Truss get kicked out. After we had Boris Johnson just get kicked out. After bare people got resigned and left and all this stuff. Oh, just before the CV and people having parties and bro, this seemed like a well ordered government. Bro, this shit is terrible, man. This is absolute chaos. Right? Absolute chaos, man. Making fucking announcements and shit, fucking tanking the pound. This is not a well ordered government at all, man. All right, because we got the wicked in rule. That's why the people are mourning. Okay, we ain't got the wise and we ain't got the righteous in rulership. All right, so I'm read it again. A wise judge will instruct his people, and a government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right, they're all corrupt, all of them. Right, that's why the people are corrupted as well, man. Okay, they're just stuck on stupid. All right, so an unwise king destroyeth his people. Right, everything that's happening now, all these rulers that we got ruling over us, man, it's destroying everything, man. But that's the point. That's part of their purpose, man. That's what they're here to do. Okay, they're not here to run an everlasting kingdom because it's not possible. These men are wicked. All right, they're here to bring down society. They're here to bring this chaos, man. And that is what is going to happen. Okay? An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, right? Because it's the Most High ultimately that set up, these Edomites to rule, right? Even though they're the wicked, right? But that, the Most High is making an example out of them, man, to compare the rulership of the righteous to, you know. So it says, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, right? So right now the Most High got these clowns ruling the world right now, okay? But in due time, in a soon time, right? Esau's going to be destroyed, and his kingdom's going to be destroyed, and all these heathens are going to bow down, right? And Yahweh Shai is going to be established as a ruler in the earth, man. Okay, and his government, the Israelites, right, are going to govern the earth, right, in righteousness, and you're going to see the difference. Okay, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. You're going to see people eventually rejoicing. After they serve their punishment, they're going to be rejoicing, man. They're going to understand that this is the righteous way to live. Not like today, not like now. All right. See, when Yahweh Shai is you know ruling, right, the earth is going to profit, and the people are going to profit from it. Okay, these men ain't these men ain't profiting in the slightest right now. They're all vexed. Okay, only the them super elite are profiteering out of this place, man. Everybody else is getting screwed. All right, more screwage, right? Facebook parent company Meta to lay off more than 11,000 employees. They're pissed. They're vexed now. They just lost their incomes. Now they're gonna find new work. You know, that's just what's going on right now, man. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. I mean, I bet these people thought, yeah, we're gonna work for Meta, the company of the future. We'd have secure jobs because they're about, they're the future, man. They're gonna do great things. And Zuckerberg comes out and said, "Well, I got things wrong. Things didn't pan out the way I thought, and now I got to cut 11,000 people." And now those 11,000 people are gone. Well, are gonna be gone. You know. But I bet they thought their future was secure, man. Yeah, let's go work for Meta. Yeah, Facebook and all of that. Yeah. And now look at you. Uncertainty, uncertainty now, right? Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right? Sorry, the grind has ceased, man. These 11,000 people got the work cut off them, man. All right, and again, that's just a trend that's happening. More and more places are shutting down. More people, or companies are laying people off, and it's gonna be something that continues, man, going forward. All right, so the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind is low. Okay, when people can hardly work. And this serves as a reason or a need to bring in the MOTB and that universal basic income, the social credit score. It's a reason to bring those things in, because things are going to be in dire. Things are going to be dire, man. So they're going to need to come up with a way to you know um, resolve that. Okay, and the MOTB will be, and the system that comes with it will be what's offered. It's being made like this on purpose so the elites can take advantage of it. All right. This is Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. Let's start from the top. All right. So he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself when thou seest parts of the silent parts which I have told thee before. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. right? Like I said, this is all to do with the prophecies, man. This is all end time prophecies right now. That's why things are happening the way they're happening, right? These are the signs, okay? So therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right? You've seen the uproars of the people. The people, are discontented, man. All right, they're in discontent right now. They're pissed off, right? So they're going out on the streets right now and protesting and striking and doing whatever doing whatever they can or what they think they can to try and sort that problem out. But these pleas will fall on deaf ears most of the time, man. And then eventually, when shit gets worse and these people start to really struggle, like really struggle, right? People are gonna lose their minds, man. Okay, people are gonna get stressed out, become violent. You know. Second Ezra 15 verse 16 says verse 14 says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Okay, so there's gonna be sedition, man. People are gonna get so fed up with the governments, man, and people are gonna go rioting. Not striking, rioting. Okay, getting violent, right? And invading one another, they should not regard their kings nor princes. Okay, they ain't gonna listen to their authorities, right? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're gonna take things into their own hands, man. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, there's gonna be a complete collapse of society. Okay, this is where it's gonna lead to. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right? So there's gonna be a lack of resources, man, lack of food, lack of water, lack of everything. Energy, power, whatever, petrol, diesel. Diesel gone in one of those US states, man, or whatever. Yeah, I had an article on that. One of those places run out of diesel, man. Speak, right? But people are going to be getting violent to obtain these things because they either can't afford it or it's inaccessible elsewhere. Whatever the case may be at that time. Okay, but things are going to escalate. Okay. The second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Okay, going back to the morning. Okay, when the wicked ruleth, the people will mourneth, man. And that's the time we're in. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and the great death. The beginning of wars. Okay, this is where we are right now. And the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right. So what we're seeing here is the beginning of these evils. Of these things happening. All right. Like I said, things are only going to get worse. So behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right. So people don't really understand what's going on out here, but we do. All right. We know this is the end. Okay, we know that people are going to suffer. Right. So they can do all this protesting, and they might get somewhere with it with some of them or whatever. But ultimately, even if they got a pay rise, it ain't gonna change the fact that they're gonna get put in this evil situation, man, that they can't deal with. It won't matter. Doesn't matter if their wages keep up with inflation. It doesn't matter. This world is still descending into chaos, man, regardless. But it's just to show you, man, that this world is in great mourning, really. Okay, nothing but problems that people are facing, man. That they gotta, do strike action and all this kind of business because they're struggling, man. And it ain't never nice to strike, man, because obviously you ain't getting paid while you're striking. So you're taking a gamble, hoping that these people want to listen to you, man, and give you what give you what you want, give you what you need. You're taking a gamble, man, because you know, but hope they hope the pressure will convince them to do what's right. But this is the devil we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, this video's gone on long enough anyway. So yeah, Lord Williams is edifying, man. And I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.